Can't get mad. Still can't get mad. We are now 36 games into the season, and I have no complaints. Zero legitimate complaints. A couple nitpicks. No legitimate, I'm pissed off complaints. That's always a good thing. Let's talk about it. This is rjcarbone, and you're listening to BD4.
It's won by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof. Good. Doug Rose. He shook up the world again. Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down. And the game is tied.
See ya. A monster home run. Back-to-back home runs by the baby Bombers.
Penetrates, creates, and shows some dexterity as well with the left hand.
Right to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going for the win. Oh! It's good. Off the window. Oh, Jimmy Barrett. Unbelievable. The first punch he threw. Houston ducks under. Got it. With 8 tenths left. It's time. Yankees win. Yankees win.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Welcome to episode 369 of BD4. Welcome to the podcast. Yes, welcome to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA now too. Yanks every series, the Knicks every game, and MMA on the weekends. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. And thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're new to the podcast here, be sure you, if you want to subscribe to the show. You can find the podcast on the many platforms wherever you get your podcast on. Make sure you download those episodes. And if you find us on Apple Podcast, give us a 5-star rating and review if you want. We're currently a 5-star podcast, and we would like to keep it that way. If you want to find me on social media and follow me there, be sure to find me and follow me on Facebook at r.j.carbone. And you can also follow me on Instagram at rjcarbone. And lastly, guys, if you want to keep up with my Knicks and Yankees content, I write a blog. If you go to ultimatesportsnetworks.com and you put into the search bar the Bomber Bacher blog, you will find my blog. Now be sure when you subscribe to the Bomber Bacher blog on ultimatesportsnetworks.com that you do so using code 6A2841ERJC. This way you get a discount, 10% off everything. With that out of the way, man, let's get to it. Let's not waste any time tonight because it is a bit late. I am very tired and I've got some things to do tomorrow. So as I am recording, it is a May 17th. It's Tuesday, May 17th. The Yankees just finished up defeating the Baltimore Orioles for the second time this series. It's a 4-game set. So if you are new here and I haven't explained to you yet, what we do with the 4-game sets is we split them in half. We'll do a middle game episode, a mid-series episode, and then we'll do our normal post-series episode. That'll only be for the 4-game sets. For the 2-game sets, for the 3-game series, we'll just do the normal post-series episodes. But for the longer 4-game series, we'll do 2 episodes a series. Unless we're very occupied. But, let's get to it because the Yanks, they just keep on rolling. Like I said, I have no legitimate complaints at the moment. So let's talk about the first game of the set, which took place on Monday. So, excuse me. Oh, you know what I wanted to bring up really quick? So apparently, Nestor Cortez is a bad guy. Listen, there were some jackasses or jackass singular, I don't know, who this was immediately after his 8 innings against the White Sox. digging up old tweets from Nestor's account, and they were rap lyrics. And of course, like we do today, we try to find something. We try to look for trouble, whether that be because you want attention, you want personal validation, but you're just looking for shit, right? You want money. Somebody tried to twist it, say that Nestor's racist because he said this explicit word. But, they take it out of context and they make it something that it isn't. And that happened with Nestor Cortez when he was 17 years old. So a decade ago, when he was in high school, he put out a few social media posts of some rap lyrics from a Lil Wayne song. And apparently it was this bottom of the earth, scum of the earth rodent who leaked this and tried to make it a thing, caused a big thing. And now he had to talk to the press about it. It was just a bunch of shit. So I do feel for the guy, but obviously nothing happened, and it's all good, and he's not in trouble because these people legitimately have no power. They like to think they have power, but you hear about this cancel culture. I was gonna say cancel culture, but you know what? It's more of a cancel cult. You hear about this cancel cult shit where they go after a celebrity, the celebrity gets fired and shit like that, but then they bounce right back anyway. So it's like these people have no legitimate power if you think about it. They're just, like I said, there's scum on the bottom of a shoe. So that happened. It's like, who gives a shit? Live your life. Try to be happy. And just try to live. Just stop taking everything so serious and being uptight. You can't live like that. Let's talk about the first game of the set because that's what we're here to talk about. So the Yankees took a victory in the first game of the set. Oh, yeah, there was this thing I was scrolling on Instagram, and, like, people are starting to talk about, like, I know it's jumping ahead, but, like, if it was game one of the playoffs, who are you starting? Garrett Cole or Papa Nest, right? It's going to be my new nickname for him. Papa Nest. But, there's a debate. It's like, oh, I'm starting Cole. I'm starting Nestor. I'm just sitting here thinking, what a positive that is. How awesome is that we can now have a conversation about that? Whether we want to start our number 5 pitcher making, $7,000 over our number 1 $30 million a year ace. That's awesome that we're even having that conversation. That's not something we were having last year. So that's what I took from that. Yankees win 6-2 on Monday night. Yeah, they win 6-2. It was a pretty good victory for them. You had Severino going up against, was it Bradish is his name? I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these names on the Orioles. Top of the third, Giancarlo Stanton stays hot, rips an RBI double to deep left field, which is a home run last year before they built the new park. It's 1-0 Yankees. Top of the fourth comes Jose Trevino, a 3-run bomb to the right field foul pole, his first as a Yankee. It's 4-0. Bottom of the fourth, the Orioles finally get on the board against Sevy when Santander slaps a solo home run to right field. It's 4-1 Yankees. No score until the top of the ninth when you had Josh Donaldson and Anthony Rizzo go back-to-back for a pair of home runs. It's 6-1 Yankees. Bottom of the ninth, Chapman comes in, surrenders a home run to Santander, his second of the night. Santander, his second of the night. It's 6-2, but the Yanks eventually win. Good offense, good all-around offense. 6 runs on 11 hits, 4 extra base hits, 5 walks, 10 strikeouts. No double plays were hit into in this game for the Yankees. 2 for 5 in scoring position, 9 left on base. Yeah, a pretty solid showing offensively. There were a few missed opportunities, like in the first inning. You had Donaldson and Stanton draw walks. Then Glaber with the 2-out base hit past second base. That loaded the bases, and then Joey Gallo comes up to the plate, and he's looking at strike 3 right down the pipe. You had the fifth inning. Glaber walks. Aiken comes in for Bradish. IKF walks, and Trevino grounds out. Trevino. Not having the accent over his name is going to bother me. It's going to get me all the time. In the 8th inning, Trevino had the 2-out base hit, but then Hicks hit into the force. But that was it. The offense was good outside of those moments. And again, they scored 6 runs without Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge was sitting in the first game because he needed the rest. I don't know if he needed the rest, but we're doing the whole, 23 games in 22 days thing, so I get it. Donaldson, great night. He goes 3 for 4, walks and homers. Rizzo hit his first home run in forever, let's just say. He and Donaldson made that nice play together with Chad Green on the mound later in the game. Stanton reached base twice. He did get caught in no man's land during that double. Got to straighten that shit out. Happened again tonight with Judge. But credit to Rizzo on that same play for taking the extra base and making it all the way home. Glaber got on base 4 times last night in the first game. Couple of hits, couple of walks in the field. He made a nice diving stop for the double play in the first inning. Gallo, oh shit, did he have a rough night. 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts. He left an entire nation on base. And then he dropped the routine pop-up in the first inning. Jesus Christ. And again, tonight, we'll talk about that in a sec. DJ goes 0 for 5, an uncharacteristic night for him when he struck out 3 times. IKF reached base twice. Trevino, 2 for 4, 3 ribbies. I was going to make a joke at the time saying that Trevino is a better hitter than Gary, but that same night, I think Gary hit a home run, and he's actually been hot lately. But, and Trevino hit a home run off a pretty tough pitch to hit. I mean, he went up and got that shit. Hicks had a hit from the 9 spot. Like I said, keep him there. Keep him in that spot. I think he can thrive in that spot. He also went from first to third on the bases, so it was nice to see that. But yeah, the Yanks score 6 runs. 4 of them come off Bradish, the starting pitcher, who went 4 in the third. Aiken came in for the next 3 2/3. They did not score off Keegan Aiken, but they did score 2 off Bautista in the 9th. Severino, pitching-wise, he went 6 innings, allowed just 1 run on 1 hit, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, a home run, 95 pitches, got the victory. Sevy's now 3-0 on the year with a 3.6 ERA. Now he's 3-0, but in his starts, the Yankees are 7-0. So on Sevy Day, the Yankees don't lose. Do you remember a few years ago, it was like a Domingo on a Sunday? They didn't lose those games? Yeah, it's kind of giving me that same vibe when he takes them out. Just feel confident. Severino looked great. I thought he did. I thought his stuff was filthy last night. His slider was moving a ton. His fastball was sitting at 97, 98 consistently. He's throwing his changeup so much more confidently this year. I was, going on those nerd sites and looking at the frequency of it. He's throwing that pitch the second most this year. And he's going to it against right-handed hitters a lot, which just shows you the increase in confidence in that changeup. He's got command with it, and it moves, and it just does what it needs to do. And he had command of all of his pitches last night. His swagger is just on another level this year. He's always had that type of energy to him, but he looks just, maybe it's just because he's glad to be back on the mound, but he looks just in a good in a good state. Got a good mindset to him right now. But yeah, it was another outing where you see a Yankee pitcher have the back of his defense, right? We remember Cole kind of telling IKF the other night he's got his back after the error. Severino was doing that to Joey Gallo in the first inning, right? So when we talk about the camaraderie of this team, the culture change, it's little things like that. But yeah, it was a good outing from Sevy. It was a great outing. It was very encouraging to get something like that from Severino after 3, pretty so-so outings. 15 2/3 innings pitched in his last 3, heading in 10 runs allowed, earned. He had 6 innings, 4 runs against Baltimore, 5 innings, 3 earned against the Royals, and then 4.2, 3 earned against Toronto. One of those starts, remember, he was like really, really hot, and then it just unraveled a little bit towards the end. But it was good to see him have a really good, dominant start-to-finish outing to kind of regain some confidence. I mean, the fact that he's been the worst pitcher and he's got a 3.6, that's pretty. And we're 7-0 in his starts is a pretty good thing. The bullpen was good. Lasagna tossed the 7th. I think Chad Green was the 8th, and then Chapman came in for the 9th inning. Right? Yeah. Lasagna allowed a hit right away, but then he settled in. Got the ground ball double play, and then he struck out a batter. He threw 11 pitches. 8 of them were for strikes, so he was pounding the strike zone. Green was perfect, and then Chapman got the home run, but nothing after that. And that was the first game of the set. I want to talk about the second game of the set as soon as we get back from break. Stay with us. We will be right back. All right, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, rjcarbone, and you are listening to episode 369 of BD4. Welcome back to the podcast. Tonight's game, Tuesday night, the Yankees picked up a 5-4 victory. It was Jameson Taillon going up against Watkins. Top of the first, Aaron Judge. And once again, guys, the Yankees have been scoring early a ton lately. That's a great thing to see. Aaron Judge in the top of the first rips an RBI double to left field. Same spot Stanton hit his double, so it was another one of those home run doubles. And it makes it 1-0 Yanks. Bottom of the second, you had Urias solo bomb off of a Taillon cutter. It's 1-1. Top of the third, Yankees answer back. Judge answers back with their right center field solo home run, 2-1 Yankees. Bottom of the fourth, Mancini scores on the Gleyber Torres error. It's tied at 2, and then Nevin takes a hanging slider deep to center for a sac fly to Judge, and that scores Rougned Odor. 3-2 Baltimore. Yankees answer back, as they've been doing a lot this year. Right when they give up a run, they will score runs, and they do that in the top of the fifth when Aaron Judge, just raking, for his second home run, could have been his third of the game. This one off of Kreibel, going to dead center field, 422 feet. It's a 3-3 game. Top of the sixth, Yankees keep going. DJ LeMahieu gets the RBI ground out. It's 4-3. Top of the seventh comes, and they get some much needed insurance runs. You have Gleyber Torres, the RBI base hit. That'll score Josh Donaldson, and it's 5-3 Yankees. Bottom of the ninth, obviously Chapman makes it way too close again. We'll get to that, but the Yankees win 5-4. The offense, they were good. The lineup, once again, scoring enough. They went out and got 5 runs on 11 hits, 6 for extra bases, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, a double play hit into. They were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position, leaving 11 left on. So there were a lot of missed opportunities where they could have cracked this game open in the first inning, right? After the Judge double, you had Rizzo and Stanton draw a pair of walks to load the bases, but they got nothing else out of that. In the third inning, after the Judge home run, Rizzo doubles, Stanton walks, but I think Gleyber Torres flew out. Fourth inning, Higashioka had a base hit. I think DJ LeMahieu grounded out versus Watkins. Fifth inning comes, against the Baltimore bullpen. This was after the Judge home run. You had Donaldson grounded into a double play after Stanton singles. 6th inning. Bases are loaded with 1 out. We end up getting only 1 run from it on that DJ grounder. 8th inning, DJ and Judge go with back-to-back singles, but we get nothing from that. 9th inning, Gleyber doubles, but bad luck Joey lines out to off of Gillespie. I don't know. I don't know a lot of their fucking names. I don't think anybody does. But Joey Gallo lines out in the 9th there. We don't get Gleyber in. So we were 0 for 9 in scoring position. But again, to see this offense produce 5+ runs consistently is a positive. Even when they're off, they're scoring. 5 runs or more in 7 of their last 8 games, right? So ever since that Texas Rangers series where it was just pitiful to watch, when the pitching carried, the lineup has woken back up. You know, Judge had a monster night tonight. He was 4 for 5, 3 RBIs, a double, 2 home runs. Again, could have been 3. Not going to be one of those Yankees fans who complain about ballparks, though, because... and he had 1 single in there as well. He just had that 1 mistake earlier, trying to stretch the double to a triple. I don't know what it is about this Yankees team, trying to go from 2nd to 3rd and not being smart about it, but that made it 3 nights out of 4 where the Yankees are screwing up on the base paths. That one I didn't mind as much. Obviously, it was a hustle play, and it didn't come back to bite us, but still. Judge is just on a tear. He's just on a freaking tear. He's batting .315, man. I mean, that's crazy. I remember his rookie year, he was batting over .330 by the All-Star break, and then he had that gigantic slump. But I just feel different now with Judge. I feel like he's much more of a mature hitter. And this .315, who knows? I mean, he might not hit .315 at the end of the year, but we've seen Judge. Last year, he hit just below .290. I mean... I don't know, man. He's on pace for... I mean, he's got Triple Crown numbers. Right? He's on pace for 63 home runs. I think it was it Cohen or... it might have been O'Neill in the Chicago series. Yeah, he was there. Where he's he was bringing up Miguel Cabrera when he was talking about Judge. But Judge is on another... I mean, he wants to get paid. He's on a tear. So maybe not, extending him preseason was the smart... was smart by both sides. Was smart by Judge to test himself, and now he's only motivated to do better. And, smart of the Yankees to not do it. But they're going to have to, the way he's playing, I wouldn't be shocked if he got $300 million. I wouldn't be shocked if he was a $40 million a year player. He wants it, and he's playing like it. So, good for him. He is on a robust run right now. He's having a hell of a season, an MVP season at the moment. Gleyber was the only other Yankee tonight with 2+ hits. He was 2 for 5 with a double and a single. Could have had 3 hits. I thought that one error they ruled could have very well been a hit. But anyways, he's continuing to put together great at-bats, and that's what we want to see. The Gleyber Torres that we saw last year, the year before, completely different player than the one we're getting right now. He's not 100% back yet. He'll occasionally get pull happy, but for the most part, his approach at the plate this year has been pretty clean. He's bringing that right center field line drive approach, right? And when he's swinging the bat, it's more of a level swing, and he's finding holes out there. He's going the other way, finding gaps, and he's just doing what he needs to. And the numbers for Gleyber on the year are inching closer and closer to respectability. Batting .741, the OPS is .741, and his average is now up to .250. So closer to the Gleyber that we all fell in love with when he first came up with the Yankees. I don't know that I'll be that. I don't think you're going to see a 38 home run season from him, but to expect him to bat around 270 and give you 20 bombs, I think we'd all sign up for that. What else? DJ Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, and Higgy, were the other Yankees to reach base twice. Stanton has now reached twice in 6 of his last 7 games. Donaldson, it's looking fun, man. He's got a very level swing. I know he's been one of those guys who's like all in on the analytics, but his swing doesn't seem like it's like an analytics swing, if that makes any sense. Like, it's not like a Gallo type of swing. It's pretty level. It's got a little bit of a launch angle type of swing to it, but I mean, he barrels the shit out of it. When he makes contact, he's barreling it. And we were talking about preseason how Donaldson's got a lot of opposite field power, and I feel like all of his hits have been towards that right center gap. He's showing that power. He's displaying that for us. And on the year, talking about numbers, his numbers are kind of exactly where I was expecting and hoping. So he's right where I would like to see him at, around 250. The OPS is now over 800. He's on pace for about 20 to 25 home runs, maybe. He's looking good right now. He's swinging the bat very well. And it's very fun watching Josh Donaldson be productive because he's always been a good third baseman all year for this team. But now that the bat's coming around, that's just another lethal weapon that we have in this lineup. It'd be nice if Rizzo can start getting hot again, right? I keep saying he'll be fine. I always say, he's going to be fine. He's going to work his way back to it. I mean, and he's showing signs of life. He's walking more still, and he's occasionally getting, the RBI hit. But Tony Meatballs hasn't been with us since that 3-homer game. We need that guy. But you had to know he was gonna slow down a bit because he was on pace for a ridiculous season. But it'd be nice to get him back to being a little more productive again at the plate. Let's see. DJ was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, had an RBI tonight, and then in this final at-bat, he got a base hit in there. He needed that. Last week or so, DJ's been slumping, so hopefully he can start going back upwards again and, living around that 300 mark. Gallo was 0 for 5 again tonight. He's now 0 for 10 with 5 strikeouts in his last 2 games after talking about how well he was hitting prior to. In his comments after Monday night's game, we're just talking about how he wishes he could be like DJ. He doesn't know how DJ does it. Really? You don't know how DJ does it? DJ's got an approach. DJ knows how to hit it where it's pitched. Tonight, Gallo had a pitch that was right down the pipe, and he tries to pull it. It was a pitch that he needs to be taking up the middle to the right side. Instead, he tries to yank it. And his defense, oh my gosh. And all you heard when he came over here was go glove, go glove. Yeah, he might suck at the plate at times, but he's a go glove defensive player. Well, since he's been here, he's been mediocre. I would even say this season, at least, he's been below average. I mean, another misplay tonight after another misplay yesterday. He's been making misplays all season. I mean, at this point, he's making me miss Tim LeCastro in the wind. But, is he worse than Miggy in left field? At least Miggy can maybe hit. I don't know. Florial? Can Florial come up? That might have to be over Hicks, and they're paying Hicks $10 million, and they like that Hicks walks. So I don't know if that's I heard Florial was hitting a little down there. I don't know. Maybe we gotta make that trade sooner rather than later for Brian Reynolds or Benintendi. We'll see. But all in all, again, 5 runs versus the O's tonight. 2 off Watkins, who went 4 innings. 1 off Crable, who pitched the 5th inning. And then 1 off a former Yankee prospect, Dylan Tate, who went an inning and 2/3. On the pitching side of things, Jamison Tyone went 5+ innings for the Yankees. How long has that been? Oh. If you're watching the podcast, I'm very sorry. On the... I should have had it looped, but it wasn't looped. There we go. Yeah. It kind of stopped playing the highlight clip on the right. Jamison Tyone, 5+ innings pitched, 3 runs, 6 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts, home run allowed, 82 pitches in the win. He's now 4-1 on the season with a 3.2 ERA. Not much to say about his outing. Definitely his worst start of the year. He hadn't allowed more than 2 runs yet heading into this start. But, if that start's going to be 5+ innings, 3 runs as his worst of the year, you take that and run with it. That's great. So I don't think he was awful tonight at all. I thought he was just bleh. And if bleh is his worst, again, that a lot of these Yankee pitchers this year have been so good that their worst outings are very bleh. That's the worst you're going to get, and they don't come often. I mean, so we're that's the most impressive part to me. The pitching staff, top to bottom, not just the starters, the bullpen. I mean, Michael King tonight. Oh, Christ. The 6th inning, the 7th inning, the 8th inning. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. He was super efficient. Always gets the job done. I mean, his pitches move like crazy. He's got that wipeout slider. I don't even think they call it a curveball, and yes, it's more of a wipeout slider. I mean, that pitch is filthy. It sweeps laterally. It's a ridiculous pitch. And, he's got a sinker at 97, and he'll mix in the 4-seamer. 3 innings tonight, 9 up, 9 down, 6 strikeouts, and he only needed 38 pitches. He's insane. He honestly could have, and maybe should have, gotten the 9th inning there with how he was rolling. But it was Chapman. And Chapman has got to go. I think he's done after this year. I don't see the Yankees re-signing him. But I'm talking right now, he's got to go. I mean, I literally said to my brother right before he threw the first pitch of his night, I said to him, you're going to know if Chapman's on by the first pitch he throws. And the exact words I said was, he's either going to come in throwing 100 on the black, or he'll be 93 way out the zone. And what does Chapman do tonight? He literally throws 93 a foot upstairs on the very first pitch. Now, he ends up getting the strikeout, and then he gets a ground out. So he's got 2 outs, nobody on. Looks like we're going to head towards a clean Chapman outing. But then he surrenders a single to Nevin on a hanging cement mixing slider. Then a single to Robinson Chirinos, who was pinch hitting for that righty on lefty matchup. And then he hangs another fat slider to Ryan McKenna for an RBI double. I thought off the bat it was out for some reason, like for a home run. So I was shitting myself. But it lands right in front of Gallo. And Gallo deserves blame because he played this ball like it had COVID all over it. So that happened, and runs score, and Chapman at the end of it gets out of it, but another outing where he just did not have it. 3 runs, 1 hit, and 18 pitches later, Chapman gets the save. The gosh damn tying run was on third base. The winning run was on second base. It was the Orioles, folks. This is the O's he did it to. The 14-23 Baltimore Orioles, who are not going to be able to win 60 games for a second consecutive year after this season. This team sucks, and if Chapman's having trouble against them, we might have to make that Clay Holmes move sooner rather than later. And Boone, he had Clay Holmes right. He had him up because he doesn't even have faith in Aroldis at this point. And then I saw after the game that Aroldis won the belt. The Yankees usually give out the belt after every game to the best performer or whatever. Chapman won the belt tonight in the clubhouse. I get it though, right? It's kind of part of that pick me up mentality that we always talk about. Their clubhouse chemistry is definitely legitimate, so it's good that they're making him feel good like that. But he's got to go. It needs to be Clay Holmes soon, man. And maybe we wait for the Clay Holmes regression game first before we put him at closer, because he's been so great that I don't know that he's going to pitch to a 0.4 ERA, which is just absurd even for a reliever. But maybe we wait for that one game, kind of like King had a few outings ago, where he doesn't have it, and then we put him at closer. But one thing I don't want to do, and Rucco brought it up on the post game tonight, I don't want to do the whole closer by committee idea. I just feel like with baseball, the great teams have closers. Every great Yankees World Series team had a closer, right? Even before Mariano, you had the closer. Who was it? Was it Sparky or I don't know. They had the motherfucker who got arrested too. But they always had a solidified closer. The Dodgers have Kenley Jansen, right? I don't want to be like Boston, who doesn't know who the hell is going to close for them because this guy sucked. The other guy has sucked. Like I want a guy. I feel like that's an important thing to have is a guy at that position. And I think Clay Holmes, like we mentioned in the last show, guy who pounds the zone, keeps it on the ground, doesn't give you anxiety, is a perfect guy for that position. But speaking of Boston, I don't know if anybody saw them tonight. Holy shit. It makes it all that better that the Yanks are playing so well and Boston is playing so bad. But yeah, meanwhile, the Yankees are 27-9 and just rolling. They're a wagon. And Boston tonight, I mean, talk about getting bitched around. Eovaldi allowed 5 home runs in the second inning. Boston gave up 9 runs in the second inning overall. Unfortunately, it was to Houston, but it was in Fenway, which makes it that much better. I don't know what Alex Cora was doing, but how you let Eovaldi give up 5 home runs is beyond me. If you got to pick up some Boston jackass from the street, you do it. Throw him out there. Oh. But, yeah, it's going well right now for the Yankees. So credit to them. Credit to Boone. He's been great. I did see a comment in a Yankees thread after the game tonight saying how we have been using King a ton, Holmes, Green, Lasagna a ton. We don't want to burn them out. I'm not worried about that. I mean, these guys are young, right? Michael King is 26 years old. Clay Holmes is 29 years old. Johnny Lasagna is 27 years old. These guys are going to be fun. They're going to be fun. It's guys like Chapman who I'm worried about. But, if we got it, whatever we got to do to win, I'm for. That's and these guys are coming in these big spots and they're winning, helping us win. So, and these wins are huge. I don't care that it's May. They're huge for the reason that if we do go on a slump sooner rather than later, or whenever it is later, if we do, we need this win for padding, right? Or if we do have injuries and we're not the same after that, we need these wins for padding. It's big. So, good start to the series. First 2 games in the books. The Yankees take care of business. Do I have any of the other notes? I like Cameron Maybin. I think Cameron Maybin's done a good job. I've got no qualms with Cam. Listen, I'm sure Beltran's a cool guy. A little brutal in the booth. He still hasn't gotten really comfortable. I didn't even know. I thought they canned him. After the first game, like the first inning tonight, he didn't say a word. We were a good 20 to 25 minutes through. And finally, in the bottom of the first, he says his first words on the I'm like, did they fire him or something? Is he just not there anymore? But he finally speaks. I'm like, oh, he's in the booth. He knows a ton of baseball, and he seems like a nice guy. But man, so it's not personal, but as a broadcaster, I'm sorry. I mean, he made Mariano comparisons with Chad Green the other night, dude. What? That's it, guys. We're going to head to our break, get back, and we'll wrap it up with the NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day and RJ's parlay. So stay with us. We will be right back. So, if you guys want to follow me on social media, be sure to do so right now. I'm on Facebook at rjcarbone, and I'm also on Instagram at rjcarbone. Once again, if you want to find me on Facebook, that is rjcarbone. Instagram at robjcarbone. Hey guys, so I've noticed that only a small portion of you who watch BD4 on YouTube are actually subscribed. So if you do enjoy this podcast and maybe you want to be notified when new episodes release, I'd consider subscribing and also hitting that notification bell. This way we can help the channel grow and you won't miss a single episode of BD4. Alright, let's get back to it. So BD4 is on so many platforms to listen to. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud. You can listen to us on Spotify. You can find us on our sponsor, Anchor, and many other listening platforms as well, wherever you get your podcast. But we are also available to watch on YouTube. So if you want to watch us on YouTube, go subscribe there. But if you prefer to listen to us, again, many listening platforms. Just be sure to subscribe, download, give us a rating, a review, comment, share the podcast, and all that fun stuff. This is BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. All right, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, rjcarbone. You're listening to episode 369 of the podcast. Welcome to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA now too. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on the weekends. If you guys have not subscribed to the show, be sure to do that. Let's get to it. Let's get to our NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day. All right. Welcome back to the show for episode 369, our NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day is: Mike Mussina spent 8 seasons with the Yankees. In how many did he win 15 games? All right. Mike Mussina spent 8 seasons with the Yankees. In how many did he win 15 games? So let me know the answer wherever you can reach me. If you get the answer correct, I'll give you a shout out on the next episode. If you guess the answer but get it incorrect, I'll let you know what it is in the next show. But yeah, that's our NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day for episode 369. Once more, Mike Mussina spent 8 seasons with the Yankees. And how many did he win 15 games? In how many did he win 15 games? All right. So with that being said, let's get to our final segment of the show and wrap it up with tonight's RJ's Parlay. All right. Welcome to RJ's Parlay, where my degenerate self breaks down tonight's parlay. If I miss, it's not surprising. If I hit, I'll probably lose it all tomorrow night, because that's how this works. Welcome to RJ's Parlay. So for episode 369, tonight's big parlay is, well, we had a 4-pick parlay on the Yankees Orioles game, and unfortunately, like a lot of the time, we flopped. We busted. And like a lot of the time, it was just one pick that screwed it all up. We had the Yankees money line that hit. We had the alternate over of 6.5 runs. I hit the over. That hit. I had LeMahieu, 1+ hits. That worked. But what did not hit was Jameson Taillon, 4+ strikeouts. Jameson Taillon only recorded 2 strikeouts tonight. Of course, he has a season low in strikeouts whenever I bet. The one time I include him in a bet. So that was tonight's plus 208 4-pick parlay. Maybe next time. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm your host, rjcarbone. You are listening to episode 369 of BD4. Welcome to the podcast, and I'll see you. I don't know why I said welcome to the podcast. I'll see you in the next podcast. I'll see you after this Baltimore Orioles series, which will end on, what's today? Today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It'll end on Friday, if I did my math there correctly. No, Tuesday, Wednesday. It'll end on Thursday. So I'll see you Thursday. Obviously, that episode will be out Friday morning. But as you're listening to episode 369, this episode, it should be a Wednesday. All right? Thanks, guys, for tuning in. 27-9. First place. And things are looking up. Things are looking great. So I've got no legitimate complaints as of now. I am very content. So go Yanks. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Ciao. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor. It's the best way to make a podcast. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm.